How much do you think we got? Misty's voice is full of excitement from the car chase as she weaves through traffic with her ear to the police scanner. Hold on, darling. Can't you let me count it first? He rummages through the bag full of precious heirlooms and riches with a grin. Robbing graves was never meant to be their main source of income, but times had been tough for a while, and there was never a shortage of fresh graves. Looks like we'll be able to make at least 3,000 to 6,000, give or take. She howls into the night air and taps the dash in celebration. Soon enough, we'll be able to leave this shit town. Maybe get you that wedding dress you've had your eye on for so long. You really mean that, baby? She smiles at him while he lights a cigarette, and he blows a ring of smoke at her face. Course I do. Was even thinking we could skip the wait and elope. The car veers left, and an oncoming driver honks loudly. Jesus, darling. No sense getting us killed before tying the knot. Sorry, Donnie. I just got excited is all. I wasn't expecting you to be so romantic. God damn it. God damn it, darling. A police siren blares loudly behind them as he reaches the top of the widening road. Not wanting to take any chances, Misty pulls over, and a deputy walks up to the car with his hat irritatingly high on his head. You know why I pulled you over tonight? Misty opens her mouth to answer, but Don interjects. We thought we saw a rabbit, officer. Didn't mean to swerve on your straight back there. The deputy clicks on a flashlight and glares into the car. Don shuffles his legs to hide the bag on the floor. What do you got there, son? Don's stomach sinks like a stone. Oh, just some knickknacks and trinkets from Grandma. The deputy puts a hand on his pistol and changes his demeanor. Don does the same, only quicker. 2 shots ring out, startling Misty and shocking her ears as the deputy's head pops open, knocking the hat away with most of his brain. Dawn is still holding up a smoking .357 when she turns to him with fear in her expression. His face is blank, with the mark of the devil glistening in his eyes. How's that for romantic? She leaps from the driver's seat into his lap and hugs him. Oh, Donnie, I don't know how we're gonna get ourselves out of this one. He snaps back to reality, hopping out of the car. You stay put. I'm gonna fix this. He then pulls a saw from under the seat and slams the door, peering off at the small town below them before locking eyes with the body. 5 minutes later, Don pops the trunk, and Misty can hear the loud thud of something being put in the back. When he enters the car again, he's covered in blood, and Misty knows not to ask questions. Instead, she starts the car up again without saying anything, and they drive for an hour before Don finally flips on the radio. The connection is choppy, but good enough for them to recognize the voice of Sam Kinison spilling through the speaker and calming Don's nerves the way Kinison always did. That there's a funny man. Seeing an opportunity for conversation, Misty replies quietly. Don always responded better to a quiet voice. Probably your favorite comedian, isn't he? Oh yeah, I'd say so. Really love that Bill Hicks, too. She hides a smile with her eyes on the road, and he turns the volume up a smidge. Vacant land now surrounds them in what seems like every direction, and the road home moves further away. Did you see that? See what? Don seems oblivious to his surroundings, completely distracted by the radio as Misty spots a little girl in the middle of the road. Fuck! She swerves, and the backseat latch swings open, instantly sending the deputy's head flying out of the trunk to smash against the windshield loudly. Blood goes everywhere in the process. Hot damn, darling, why'd you go and do that? She looks to the empty road, confused. I thought I saw something. Yeah, I'll bet you did. How about you let me drive for a spell? She glances at the severed head and pukes out the window in disgust while Don puts it back in the trunk with the rest of the parts. When he comes back to Misty, he holds her hair back so she can finish vomiting like a lady. "You'll be alright, sweetie. Drink this." He hands her a tiny bottle of scotch, which she downs in a second. "Thanks, baby. Couldn't get that taste out of my mouth." "Well, don't fret, darling. Hop up in the passenger seat and I'll get us home." With those words, Misty does as she's told, and they hit the road like a bat out of hell. Desert surrounds them from left to right, and the moon is full, shining down on the empty stretch of asphalt ahead as Dawn notices the road grow longer, just like Misty did. "What the fuck?" Don pulls over and rubs his dry eyes in disbelief of what just happened. Misty puts a hand on his leg. "You saw it too, didn't you?" "What do you mean? The goddamn road stretching out like a carpet? Yeah, I seen it alright." He scratches his head in contemplation, and Misty can see that he's scattered. The cigarette hanging from his mouth has a mountain of ash at the end of it, and the car is terribly low on gas, not nearly enough to get them home. "Looks like we got a decision to make." She squeezes his hand. "What is it?" "We can either keep driving down this godforsaken road, or we can grab our things and cut through the Northmore Cemetery." "But you said we never go to that one." He takes a drag from his cigarette. "Yeah, well, that was before I shot the pig. Now it's time to improvise." She weighs the odds in her head, and they aren't great. "I don't know. They dig the graves extra deep there, and it's awfully dark out. If we get separated and one of us falls in, we're screwed." "We ain't screwed until they drill 4 in our coffin, darling. Alls we're doing is taking the scenic route." "And what about the body parts you chopped up and put in the back?" "I'm gonna pop a casket and drop them inside. More company for the dead." He laughs and hops out of the car with his duffel bag. "Come on, darling, open the trunk for me." She hits the button next to the steering wheel, and he thanks her from the tail of the car. Then they hike through densely packed woods until they reach the tall, rusted gates of Northmore Cemetery. "Kinda intimidating, ain't it?" He shines his light at the gargoyles that sit at the entrance as they walk through.
"Let's just be fast. I want to get out of here and get home."
"I couldn't agree more," he says, readjusting the bags on his shoulder.
"This one right here should do just fine." She walks up to join him at the foot of a ditch as he jumps down with the bags. Body parts make a loud squish when they slam against the casket, and Misty looks away while Dawn cracks open the lid with a crowbar. There's a quiet hiss that smells of formaldehyde when the hinge finally breaks, and the corpse inside sits quietly as Dawn hides the remains. "Alright, pull me up." He smacks his hands against his jeans to get the dirt off before stepping onto the coffin. Misty wraps her fingers around Dawn's, yanking with all the strength she can muster. "Get your foot up. I can't hold you forever."
His shoe scrapes against the hard soil, failing to grip repeatedly until Misty grabs his elbow and drags him over. The dark sky stares down at him as he catches his breath. "Thanks. Don't mention it." He gets up and throws the duffel bag over his shoulder before kicking over a nearby wheelbarrow filled with soil. "Let's get going. Our street is on the other side of this shit show." "If you say so." Don whips around to hear better. "What's that? I'm sorry, what did you say to me?" Misty looks at him confused. I didn't say anything." Never mind then." He wraps his hand around hers as they walk, and a light comes on in the distance. "Get down!" The light gets closer, and Don pulls Misty into the nearest mausoleum, closing the heavy door behind them as fast as he can. On the other side, someone bangs on the structure with a blunt object, but their words are muffled through the door. "You see if it was the police?" Misty can see the sweat coming down Don's face as he awaits her response.
I don't know. It happened too fast."
He waits for the noise to stop. "Don't worry about it.
They aren't getting in, not while we're around at least. The room around them is a massive crypt, walls lined with dusty sarcophagi. Can't see worth a damn in here. Don flips on his lighter, revealing a set of stairs that seem to go underground. Where do you think it'll lead us? Out of here, I hope. He takes her hand and ascends down the stairs, duffel bag jangling at his side with each step. I think I see something. He outstretches his arm at the bottom of the stairs, but the tunnel ahead has a draft that allows a short gust of wind to kill the flame instantly. I think we're close. There must be an opening coming up. A loud noise startles them above. What was that? Don rushes back up the steps to find an empty coffin with a rounded lid, rocking back and forth on the floor. What the fuck? A female cry resonates from below. Misty! He runs down the stairs as fast as he can, nearly tripping over the last step to find a puddle of blood, but not any blood, Misty's blood. Sweetheart, where are you? He follows the smaller droplets of crimson into the tunnel and flips on his lighter. Orange flame flickers at his fingertips, bringing brightness to the pitch-black tunnel around him. Misty! Dawn. Her voice is quiet like a whisper, then lost altogether under the sound of growling, then screaming. Sweat drips down his thumb as he carries the hot lighter in his hand and turns the corner. Oh, God! What he sees can't be possible, but it happens anyway. Two soil-covered corpses pull Misty's body apart until her organs spill all over the ground in a splash of gore. The corpses then rip her head open like a bag of chips, and they hold the remains in the air before speaking in undead unison.
Ample consequence for the sin of desecration!
He drops the duffel bag to the floor with hot tears in his eyes. You can have it. Just put her back together. One of the worm-infested corpses waves his finger, soil falling from his mouth as he speaks.
That is not possible. You've taken too much. So much like you. We have stolen gifts now too.